And I'm looking at the exciting matchup between Lonte Walker and Nicholas Lynn. I wonder if I'm seeing right. It looks like someone is down the exchange already after move 9. I wonder how this happened.
What a waiter. And he's giving up the light, but how did that bishop get there?
Lynn.
I'm just going back to see how that might have happened.
I want to see it myself.
Started as an English opening.
Like a regular English opening. They're playing kind of symmetrical so far.
Did he move his bishop? Oh, really?
Oh, wow. They were just copying each other and he
copied.
Over-copied.
It wasn't a true copy because the knight is on c3.
Oh,
so
that's just
Kalunk and Kabunk, and there went the exchange. And now, as the camera shows some other games in progress, young players, young faces, we're seeing...
that's Lonte against Lynn.
Right
yeah.
That is indeed the board where he coughed up an exchange early, but that light squared bishop of blacks, that's going to be a very strong piece for the long term. Don't think this game is over. That bishop is going to cause a bit of a headache, as black does have some compensation for the exchange. You know, exchanges, exchanges. People get all excited about a rook. I'm telling you, man, a rook is not what it used to be.
Nope.
Used to be you get a rook and the guy is crying on the other side.
Yeah.
Now, what's a rook between friends? You got an exchange, big deal. As long as I get some compensation. Look at that bishop planted, nailed in. I got my hammer and my nail, putting it on f3. Your king cannot castle kingside anymore. Now I just want to get some counterplay, some attacking chances. And look at that knight leaping into the game, saying, I want some tacticos.
Ooh, it's like a bone in the tooth. And speaking of exchanges, you know, one of Warren's, if not his favorite, certainly one of his favorite players is that Bulgarian Supremo Veselin Topalov, who used to just give up the exchange willy-nilly, like
he taught
nothing.
us how to give up exchanges.
Yeah, you know.
Let me tell you, he taught us how to do it. And that knight, I love this knight move. Let me tell you, did I say that? Love this knight move. Why? Not because you're attacking a pawn. The pawn is definitely going to move off of h2. Actually, I'm a little bit afraid of what is going to happen because the black knight is going to swing to the e5 square and then attack the pawn on d3. And the queen is the only thing defending that pawn. And my queen doesn't want to sit there and defend pawns.
Nah, not at all.
That's ugly. And then the other knight is thinking about going to b4, and there's some funky action that might happen. This is showing you, I don't care if you're up in exchange, look at your laughing stock rooks on a1 and g1.
Yep.
Congratulations for your exchanges when your rooks aren't doing anything. If you're up the exchange, you need an open file. You don't have an open file? I don't believe you're up in exchange.
Those rooks are pitiful on a1 and g1, and in some lines, you know, black has knight e5, bishop back with knight f3 as a threat. You know,
absolutely. Not some lines, lots of lines. This one here, white is up material, knows he's up material, but has the task of defending this position that is going to be ahead. And black just needs now to figure out how to open up the game just right and show that the pieces are strong. Look at
h3 came, knight e5, knight g to e5.
Look at black's face. Black is just relaxed.
Calm.
White is intense right now, deep into this position. So we know there's going to be some real action there as white tries to figure out what to do. Well, let's take a look at some other boards. It looks as though I keep looking at these winner of Frenches, and I'm not sure if I'm looking at the exact same position or not. The positions are so similar to one another. So this one, I don't even know which one to jump to because they all look so similar. This game is winning for and their rookie one. She's playing really fast. You know what it is? They both play really fast.
Yeah.
That's why they're getting
over so quickly.
They both play really quickly. And so this one, though, does look like it's completely winning for black. So we got our taste of this. Let's see if we can get another game down to the lower end as well. See if the cameraman can focus on another game as the night develops itself, because this one's definitely over. So if we could see the next board down, the cameraman can get an angle so we can look at that. I don't see any big developments on our top 6 boards. We'll come back to that if there are. But if the cameraman can give us a little bit of zoom action on this one. Is that Cameron Coe versus Layla Griffiths?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
all right. Whoa, there's a queen on h6.
Oh no.
And with a pawn steaming to the H file, H5 is coming. Is the little checkmate action he's trying here? Is it enough?
I think he's going for H5 and just
Black
pawn
is
takes
playing
G6.
White is playing caveman chess right now. H5, take on G6, checkmate. Haven't even developed the other pieces. So what, you have a bishop on F1, a knight on E2, rook on A1, king still in the middle. No. Let's think checkmate first. You taught him this, man?
Yeah, he watches some of my games, actually. yes.
Let me tell you, you can smell Ian Wilkinson in this game, man. Just go for the throw. Just a G4, G5.
Juggler, here I come. Juggler, here I come.
Well, of course, the attack does not work if you put something on the 7th rank. And that queen there is a very good move.
Yeah.
Even if you play H, when you,
H6.
yeah, if you play H5 and take, I can take with the F pawn. And you get nothing.
And he's going for it, you know. Yeah, he's all committed, man.
I'm in.
Bop, bop, boom.
So the next stop is something like knight F4 and maybe try to sacrifice on G6 or something like that to get some action going. White's main plus, I would say, in this position, no counterplay yet for Black.
Yeah.
Even though Black's position is very solid,
yes.
No counterplay. Black is not scaring White with any move. Even though the White king is stuck in the center, who's attacking it? Nobody. You got any pawn breaks to worry about? No way I can find it. So White can get away with this brute force, caveman, vicious, straightforward, direct attack approach. Because Black's not showing any counterplay.
And I can't see the pieces, but is White on material? I'm not seeing the black pieces.
No. White's not on material.
No,
White has bishop on
doesn't.
F1 and knight on E2. Where Black bishop over here and a knight on A5.
There's a bishop on A6.
A6 and a bishop on A5 and a knight on A5. So the material is currently even.
Oh no. She's gonna play.
No, don't do it.
No.
Wait, can she hear you? I'm gonna give a quick prize for who can predict Black's next move. Too late.
She actually took. Wow.
What did you say?
Let me tell you.
I don't know.
I am definitely not feeling that move.
No, it's.
And I feel some kind of devastating blow.
Rook takes.
Ooh.
Rook takes. Yep, he's thinking. He's listening. Rook takes. Yeah.
F6 is absolutely forced, but I'm thinking G6 after F6
crushing
and it looks.
in that position was knight F4.
Yeah,
Instead of taking
knight F4 was fantastic. Yep.
Attacking the bishop on A6.
With the
bishop
discovery.
takes F1,
Then
knight takes H5.
Super sharp attack.
On G7.
And knight F6.
Yeah.
Knight F4 would have been all she wrote in that position. That was crushing. That just gives one free tempo. Now F5 has been played. It's still not great for Black, but at least it wasn't dead. It wasn't over.
It wasn't
Knight
over.
F4 was over.
Yeah.
Let me get some quick suggestions for White. Anybody that gets the move gets his water bottle. Anybody has a quick suggestion? Quick. En passant. Okay. Anybody else? That different move? Queen takes the pawn. Anybody has one last different move? Knight F4. All right. So we have 3 moves.
Good one there. All good moves.
All good moves, actually.
And the thing is, right now, Black has held the 7th rank, and
he's going to push the pawn. He's going to push the pawn. He's going to push the pawn. Nobody said G6.
Nobody said G6?
Nobody said G6.
Nobody said G6.
Nobody said
G6 was my move, but I'm not eligible. I'm not eligible for the prize. I'm not eligible for the prize. I knew he was going to play G6. In fact, Morris was looking at knight F4 before H5, before the H5 push. You know, but it's actually stronger in the position after H5 was played.
No, man, it was crushing.
Yeah,
might be able to hold a little. She might be able to hold a little bit if she goes Queen G7.
I don't think there's any danger anymore. Like, what is the next? I said that wrong. That's not the way to say it. What I mean is, I don't think it's over right now.
Well, not yet. But if she doesn't play something drastic now, then Rook G5 might be a big threat. So I'm thinking she might have to find Queen G7 at this point to kind of hold things up.
Rook G5 is a big threat. Yes, agreed.
Or she's thinking. So another couple quick guesses on her next move.
What is Black going to do?
What is Black going to do? Anybody?
Come on,
guess,
guys. Come on, guys. Win the prizes.
G7.
What's Black gonna do?
Anything else? Queen where? G7. All right. Any other suggestions for Black?
Resign.
That could be a suggestion, right?
I don't think she's resigning.
No, I don't think so either.
That's definitely not going to happen. So we're just going to stay with this one more move because this is a critical point in the game here.
Yeah, Queen G7 is on the board.
Yeah. Nice move.
Yeah.
Only move, I think. Who said Queen G7?
And a winner.
Congrats, man. Congrats.
Gets the water bottle. Let's go to some games. Let's back off of this one and go to some games, some exciting games. Let's just go right to the top boards. How is the game between Chandra and GM, the two GMs? The only two GMs in the field. And look at this position, man. This one here, also featuring a pawn going down to H5.
Could feed back one to the board here.
Somewhat different circumstances, but it looks like White is trying for his thing as well. So if we can now switch to the digital screen, we need to see some digital action.
Here we go.
There we have that. And the pawn on H5, as you can see right there, as he continues with some strong play. This one is wild.
Well, Chandra just played Rook B8. I think he's looking to try and go knight takes E5 with a discovery right now. So White has to be pretty careful.
Yeah, that is definitely a threat in this game right here. That's a threat. He's going to play some kind of discovery. White wants to swing the queen over to H4 to bolster that potential attack.
Is it worth the pawn on E5?
But the pawn on E5, is hanging. So it is, my opinion, not worth the pawn. That knight on the knight on E6. I remember discovering how beautiful the knight on E6 could be. I remember when I first discovered that, I was like, a knight on E6. It can guard so many squares. The square on G5, the D4 square, the C5 square. It can threaten to jump to F4. It can be an incredibly useful piece, the knight on E6.
Yep.
So this knight on E6 is defending a lot, and Awonder doesn't want to. You put his queen on E4, Ian.
Yes.
He doesn't want to go back.
No. But sometimes I say the strong players immediately realize when they have made a mistake, and there's nothing wrong in admitting it.
Whoa, he's saying I'm not admitting it.
No. There's no need to retreat right now.
D5.
Yeah, because he's probably might be even following it up with C4 at some point.
He decided I want to plant my knight on this square. Man, that's some tricky business because if the black knight moves, I'm sorry.
That's a good move, actually.
Wow, knight to B4, he's going to play C4.
He has to play C4.
But it looks like this, he's basically saying you cannot play E6 because your knight is sitting on E6.
Yes.
So I don't have to worry about that. But isn't there a tactical issue? There's some tactics. I'm sorry. He must have calculated these tactics starting knight B4, C4, and knight to C7. Or first take and then knight C7. That knight on D5 after knight B4 is going to come under terrific pressure with pinning possibilities. And that is the only way to really do it and make it count. Knight B4, that's what they're calculating furiously to make sure there are no oversights in that line. I think that's a very tricky line. I'm not sure what the response is going to be.
Maurice is looking at this line here. Knight to B4, attacking the knight with a bishop, and then you're going to have to protect it with C4 possibly. And now knight to C7 might be interesting with a pin on the queen. Is that what you're looking at?
That's exactly
with the threat of E6 coming.
That's exactly what I'm looking at. But I'm a little afraid of what could potentially happen on the other side of the board because my knight has left. And so there could be some queen H4 Capture on G6, knight G5, mating action. That's the thing I can tell you, I'm terrified.
I was just looking at Dan Murray's Ponte's G6, Queen H4, knight G5. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah. You can go have your pawn, you can stack all you want, but your king is the thing. Remember we said that knight on E6 was stopping the G5 square from being invaded, but now here comes the invasion. Although it's not completely over. Let's take on D5. Let's follow the analysis. Take on D5. Pawn takes. I'm not sure what to take with here. Let's take with the bishop so we can keep the knight pressure. All right. Now, if you play takes, I can take with the F pawn. And if you play knight G5, I can just play H. One of the two. H6 might keep your attack going. Yeah, let's just play it. Let's just play it. And now, no attack.
Nope.
No attack here.
No attack. Yeah, this is where I can guarantee you, this is what's flushing through the mind of black right now. He knows there's going to be danger to his king.
Yes.
But if he can make the right couple of moves, there's a pawn in his hand. And he has to look at it and calculate it, and then he has to intuit it, because we just made several moves in a row, but we put it on the board.
Yep.
He has to see it in his head with absolute clarity before he makes his next move. And it's going to be, and this is a challenge that Awonder has put to him. I dare you to take the pawn. And this is going to eat up a lot of clock, as well as Akshat has to analyze the position and look and check. And this is a moment.
And Akshat has been thinking
for
a while
in the game.
Akshat
is going to think for a longer while.
Awonder has gotten up, to take a little breather. If you look on the screen there, he's not at his chair at all.
Yes, because that's the moment. That's the moment we're in right now. It's a hypercritical moment in the game, and wow, what can you say? That is going to be a big decision from him. And speaking of big decisions, let's bounce over to the board 2, where we see the young ladies are playing a champions, amazing young stars. And on that board, Qiyu Zhou has the white pieces and Akshita Gorti has the black pieces. So we can just switch the camera over to that game. We see that the move B5 has been played in that game, and G4 for white. We've got double edge position here.
My move is on the board.
Yes, G4. I know you're happy. Yeah. How do you feel? Do you feel the same way about G4 as you do about the move? About B5 as you do about G4?
No. B5 is for beers. I like G4. In fact, Judith Polgar, the greatest female player in chess history, that's her favorite move as well. Yeah, we have that in common. G4. I read it some time ago. The queen is, I know you like the knights, but the queen is my favorite piece. G4 is my move, and that's what Judith sells, and you can see it. Once you get G4 in, you are almost going to win the game.
Kids, don't take this as you.
Not as the first move, apart from the grab, not as the first move.
So you're saying white is winning here, right?
White has a powerful, internecine, auspicious initiative in this position. And black is sweating right now. I'm telling you.
I don't think black is.
Ooh, I was looking at this idea, queen here to swing around. And possibly G5.
And then what?
And how do I get the pieces around there?
That's going to be the challenge. The challenge, look, white actually has a clear plan.
Yep.
White is going to play king H1,
rook G1, queen H4.
Queen over there.
Yep.
Get the other rook over and try to mate. I'm not even sure you're going to, I think I play queen G3 even.
And the bishop A3 is a monster cutting the board in half right now.
That bishop is a nice bishop, and, and it can always go to D6. So knight B6 is not playable because of that bishop D6 move. So white has tremendous initiative that if black doesn't slow it down, I think white should be playing rook, king, just move the king, move the rook, double, triple if you need to, do whatever you have to do, prepare the attack, and say to black, what are you doing? However, all that said, black does have the chance to potentially play b4. And if black gets that move in, then the d pawn could lose some strength. For example, b4 right now, you have to take with the bishop, because if you take with the pawn, then knight takes on d4.
On d4,
and we're cooking with gas. So the b4 bishop takes, unfortunately, that is a decent position for
black.
white after bishop takes.
After bishop takes.
Right, so you'd like to play a5, but it's going to lose your b pawn to be able, the ability of your b pawn to push because we're going to kill it. So Akshita's staring. You see how her eyeballs? You see that head?
Yeah.
She's going one thing only.
Yep.
What am I supposed to do on that side of the board?
Yep.
There's something here, and she's looking at b4.
Could she be considering b4, bishop takes, and maybe another exchange sacrifice?
Maybe, definitely she's looking at it.
Oh man, and then when pawn takes knight b4.
Can we put that up, pull up the examine board so we can take a look at that? She is thinking in this position, yes, and we pull up that board. She's thinking, I just might play.
She has to play it. She has to play it.
She doesn't want to hear about your whatever.
She's gonna.
So now, this is the point we're making. If she takes with the pawn, then the d pawn drops.
Yep.
Bing, thank you. Now black has the center pawn. Black is threatening to take on c2. On e2, black is in business. The a4 pawn is hanging. So she understood.
She has to take with the bishop.
Back up just a couple of moves. That she had to take with the bishop. After pawn up, bishop takes, and she took with the knight. She took with the knight because now, here's what she's going to do. After pawn takes, her plan is to play c3. Guaranteed. That's her plan.
However,
I'm not sure. It's definitely sacrificial because now she's cut off the defense. Those center pawns are going to drop. And her point is, right now, if rook a3 or rook f3, I think rook a3 is logical, although the a pawn might drop. That's your only move.
Looks that way, unless you
I'm
could
not
contemplate
sure.
b4.
b5 might be another move as well. But c3, this move, and now take on b4. And rook takes on c3. And now here's the critical moment where I could play maybe queen b6. I don't want to get hit with a5. No, a5 I can take it. a5 I can take it. Is there any real thing happening over there? So now this is what they're looking at.
No.
The d4 pawn is about to, but now knight f3. And can I sack another exchange? She has played c3. We're going down the line.
Yep.
Exactly. And now here, white is saying you run out of. Actually, no, because here you can play rook takes on a4 if you want to. And it's a chess position.
Oh yeah, you're in business. I mean, at least you've distracted all this attention that was going on over here.
Timing with b5, b4, that was what was needed, and the same thing happened. So when I asked you if you were as impressed by b5 as g4, you said no. But now you're looking at it. You might like it a little bit more. That was the only thing to stop what white was doing. It distracted white in this moment.
Temporary respite, that's all. Temporary respite.
This is sharp.
You know.
What I'm really impressed with is that Gorti seems to sense those moments when it's necessary to do something.
She has a feel. She has a feel for the position.
She has a feel for the position, and she knows that, hey,
but Maurice,
this might be desperate, but I need to find this counterplay right now.
Maurice, like the Benko, I think the French defense, unlike a lot of the fight surrounds d4 square.
Right.
It seems to be one of those openings where one square assumes such importance, and I think the French defense is one of those openings where a particular square looms so significantly. It's something that has always amazed me with French defense players.
This is the position we have on the board, but let's get back. As this one is definitely getting more and more critical per round. Per move, there's another one to check out. The one on the top board with the two top players in the competition as we now go to this game between Akshat Chandra and Awonder Liang, and it did happen exactly what we predicted. Knight told you that's what he was looking at. I guess I get to keep my Grandmaster card.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, he played this line, knight b4, and then after c4, knight to c7, and put the test. And now white, instead of, this is everything we saw. This is where we are. So now he has to calculate what happens. Let's take a look again. What happens after takes? And it's been done. Takes, actually we can follow the game. Takes.
Pawn takes.
And now but he did it differently. You know what he did in this one? He took...
With the bishop.
No, he took... We wanted him to take with the bishop, but he took with the knight on b4.
Yes.
I had the knight on b4 still in the game. Aggressing the d3 point.
Right.
He's kept his knight on c7 in the game. And I guess he's thinking he's going to use this knight and go to E6.
E6
He's
again,
going back to
man.
E6. Yeah,
This knight.
when
So
G5
he
comes.
thought about it a bit differently and daring Awonder to now come up with the attacking sequence. Knight to G5 runs into knight to E6. So that means you'd have to take first. That's devious. So knight G5, you see, because first we had him taking immediately, then playing knight G5.
Yes.
But he could also play knight G5 first, and we'd have to play something like H6 and get funky. But instead of doing that, he's decided he might be able to play knight E6, and this is the one we definitely should analyze because it's a dangerous moment in the game. So white has two options, take on H7, or take on G6 or play knight G5 first. We did look at taking on G6 before, so now if we go knight G5, but hold on a second. Knight G5, you cannot play knight E6 because the bishop on D5 is hanging.
Yep, bishop
Right.
on D5 is hanging.
Definitely.
So that means in this position, you must play H6 right now.
It must, because...
Only move.
Yeah, it's the only move.
Because the capture is happening. And now white can play takes. Then you just take back. And we have the same position, except the knight again is not on B4. The knight on B4 was attacking the D3 pawn.
Yeah.
The knight on C7 is just going back to the E6 square. That's the difference. So I thought he had a nuance to defend with this knight, but he can't because of the hanging bishop. So that means that...
Is there anything in this variation where you go bishop takes, knight takes, and then queen to E4, hitting here and G6 at the same time, and then maybe later saying, hey, this pawn is going to be a target at some point. It's just that it seems like you're running out of pieces.
Yeah, I play E6 right now. Your knight is under attack. I think you have to. Because if you try something else, back up and play queen takes G6. You play queen G6, pawn takes, bishop takes, looking for some funky action over there. Queen E8 happens, and you start crying tears. And you say, why did I do this? I have no attack. So this was bogus. So I have to back up a couple of moves. And he did play knight G5. It is on the board. He's throwing pieces over there. So now we could drop the knight back, yes. And in this position, we could play G5. And you're not sacrificing. You might look for an F4 funkadelic action, but I'm not sure that does anything. If I'm taking on F4 and daring you to come up with any real attack.
You'd have to prepare it first. It probably King G1 or something like that.
I don't think
King.
I don't think
H2.
this is.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's...
No, not
maybe,
F4, no.
Maybe there's a King G2, Rook H1 potential sacrifice on G5 in this position.
Yep.
Let's try that one out.
Yep.
What does black do in this moment right here? Although I must say, the pawn on E5 is a little scrumptious as A6 got played, and he did, man, are they listening to us? They think, we're definitely, now, the line you were saying was to take on D5 and then play queen E4.
Right.
But the more I look at it, the more I think black is just fine. This is where we are right now. And it looks like we do have a result.
Ooh, wait a second, the skipping girl has skipped in again.
Well,
What we saw was a tough match though, yeah.
My memory is you were down a piece.
When we saw it, she was down a
We were
piece and
predicting
things
a
were
loss
looking
for you.
bad.
What happened in the game?
What happened in the game?
He put his queen in front of my king and thought it was checkmate.
Oh no, and what happened?
And I took it off.
Oh, you grabbed a free queen. Oh my.
Oh.
What do you think you were, do you think you were losing at that point before he did that?
Yes.
Oh jeez, so luck favors the brave as well.
So I'm thinking you won the game?
Yes.
Wow, give it up.
For
Give it up
Zainab.
for 3.
Fighting.
She is right now the MVP of the Raging Rooks, the only player, maybe in the entire competition with a perfect score.
Yep.
We'll have to check that out to make sure. But
She
she's definitely the only player on her team with a perfect score.
3-zip.
3-0. Well done.
And as I said before, young Rampere is going to need some counseling. Where is parents and coaches?
And it is not the case, by the way, that she's the only one with a perfect score. Cameron Coe also has 2 points for the Dark Knights. So he's got 2. So we'll see whether or not he can continue his perfect score. But at the moment, the Raging Rooks are leading 13-10.
Wow.
3-point gap that the Dark Knights are going to have to catch up on. They don't want to try to make all that up in the last round. Thank you very much for getting the score going. And
so he didn't like my move at all.
I just don't think it worked.
Yeah.
But now there is a threat though. This last move is very reasonable. He's had a straight threat of bishop takes on h6. How do you defend it? Do you want to play g5? Because you know, people like Ian Wilkinson will sacrifice.
I will,
on
of
g5.
course, without any hesitation. And that bishop on c1 is a dangerous silence. That's a spy behind enemy lines right there.
This is what he was worried about when they went into this position in the very first place. How to guard that side of the board. Now, I'm looking at this. There is the possibility, gentlemen, of rook f5.
A sneaky idea of going rook h5?
Yes, man. Can we analyze that? Because that's going to be critical because the whole game is going to blow up after that move.
Rook f5.
Okay? Now, your move is the move I most want. But first, let's just point out the obvious. Bishop takes h6. My point is rook h5. Gift me your bishop as I'm attacking your queen and your bishop. Now you lose and cry, and nobody's going to feel sorry for you. But backing up one move, white does have the move g4 interpolating first.
Yep.
What do you think about Ian Wilkinson's favorite move?
Yeah.
Now,
Beautiful as usual. Beautiful.
but Ian, I'm going to challenge you if I played the move g5.
I sack right away on
Right
g5.
away?
Right away, he wants a sack.
On
What about
g5.
moving a little first and then sacking afterwards anyways?
I don't know, because he's playing rook takes any. He's sacrificing. We know he is. Give us that one. And now.
Because I'm threatening g7 right, h7
Oh,
right
no,
now.
that's dead. We're killing him.
Yeah.
He's dead. Kill him.
Oops.
Okay, he's gone. And now this position. You also could have taken on, maybe taken on d5.
Yeah, and we have a great imbalance now because I have two rooks.
Right, but now after the move e6.
Yeah.
E6?
Yeah. What's wrong with e6?
Oh, E6, sorry.
Yeah, man. And now we have a position where I don't know what's going on. This is crazy chess.
And in this position, probably even f4 no.
No, not f4 now. Queen takes queen.
Queen is
Yeah,
queen is
queen's
on
under
pre.
attack. But this is sharp. Let's agree that this is crazy.
Queen
Queen
h5.
back and queen move.
Yeah,
but this
with
is
f4.
Sharp.
And with a king lift and a rook to h1.
No, you're never
yeah.
getting that. Queen over queen e8. We're going to challenge your queen.
Yeah.
We're going to bring our queen into action. We're going to trade. Oh, we're going to trade on G. We're going to be careful how we trade on g2. Now we'll let you trade on d5. And he's playing the move e6. A different technique. Give the youngster credit, attacking the queen, so that now you cannot play bishop takes on h6. That was a nice move he just played.
Yes, very beautiful.
That was a
very
nice move. And we have another result. Cameron Cole continues.
He followed my
Perfect
H plan.
score.
Henry the Horrible.
Dark Knights with a win against Layla Griffins.
Those two lower boards are canceling out each other.
The score on the lower boards is 6 wins. 6 wins and no draws, as Zaina O'Connor on board 11 won her 3 games against Christie and Rampere, and Cameron Cole won his 3 games against Layla Griffiths. So they basically cancel each other out.
Yep.
So
We haven't heard from Cameron as
they're
yet,
keeping
have we?
that one
No,
up.
we're going to talk to the silent assassin in a short
Cameron's
while.
doing
Yeah.
his best Magnus impression.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Bye. I don't want to talk to anybody until it's all over.
Yeah.
Is this Cameron
You
coming
would know.
down?
Yep.
You would know. You would have first-hand knowledge of this Magnus Carlsen guy, right?
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Very smooth guy.
Cameron,
Come
you've
on,
just
Joe.
been compared to Magnus Carlsen. What's happening in your games? You seem to be winning them left, right, and center. But now we see why he doesn't come up a lot, right? What happened in that last game? We saw you throwing down that H-pawn all the way down to H5. He doesn't want to give his secret.
It happened.
It just happened. Did that game finish in a checkmate?
Yes.
Well, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing some good work for your team. So,
If you could explain your secret to success, what's the secret so far for you? You're the only person on your team with 3 wins. Why do you think that's happening?
Because I'm good.
oh, we have another Lante on our hands here.
Not quite.
Well said, well said.
Speaking about Lante, that was an interesting game.
Thank you so much for that, Cameron. Good luck
Good
in your
job.
last
Good luck
game.
in the next one. Yes, you were saying something about Lante?
Yeah, I was saying we haven't watched that game in a while. That was a very exciting battle as well, the Lante Lin game.
No, but I think you really need to get to the game with Qiyu Zhou.
And we haven't looked on that
Akshita
Joshua
Gorti.
Christie game.
Because
Gorti.
that one is
Was exploding after
definitely
B4.
all the interesting action we expected in that game has happened. And look at this position. This position between the two young ladies. Black has achieved the goal of breaking through on the queen side, and white is desperate now to attack on the king side. But the attack is possible.
Yep.
It is real. That
Yep.
G file, that G7 pawn is tenderoni. There's a queen coming to G3. It's gonna be a direct mate threat you're gonna have to defend against. All of black's pieces are congregated on the queen side of the
Yep.
board, and white, despite the breakthrough for black, has some attacking chances here, and black's gonna have to be very mindful of what's gonna be the attack. Now, I would say black does have some straightforward, simple moves, like a little, okay.
Because Queen G3 was a real direct threat. There was actually no good way to defend on G7.
You couldn't play
Yeah.
rook E8 and rook E7? I'm so not happy putting my
King on it, yeah.
I mean, can I say that again? I'm so not happy having to put my king on this square. Is she planning a G5 break? No, I think that's going to be disgusting. What happens on? I mean, I feel like Queen G3 Knight H4 is going to be
It's going to be
Yeah, Queen G3, Knight G4.
mean, as we have another
We
result.
have another result here.
Coming in, and what was the result that just happened? Okay, a draw on
Michaela
board
Kerr.
8. Wait, who was it?
Board 8, Michaela Kerwin against Rihanna Brown seems to have ended in a draw.
All right, so no change at the top as the lead continues 13.5, 11.5 for the Raging Rooks after that draw. But I got to tell you, I don't like what's happening now in this game. But may I also say this? I think black's last move was a problem for black. I like white's initiative. Look at the clock.
Yeah, white doesn't have much time, but
White is got to flick the wrist fast.
But you know, Morris, from my experience, and of course, that are even better players, whenever the pieces are so far away from the king, it's cause for concern. And if you look at black's position, all her troops basically are on the queen side.
Yes.
And whereas there's no immediate breakthrough to white's king, white, on the other hand, has amassed her troops on the king side, ready for a fearsome attack.
I don't like what black did on the last move for sure, but also I have to say black had better hurry up. I mean, hurry quick. Maybe the move knight to C, I think I'd have to, well, but your pawn is hanging on D5 right now? Okay, that means bishop E6 might be forced.
Bishop cuts off the
E6 might
queen
be
from
forced.
helping out.
No, but it also opens up the second rank. So your rook maybe can go to A7. I'm not really happy with this defense. What I'm not happy with is the knight going to H4 and G6. That's what I'm really not happy with.
Yeah.
Someday this knight's going to move. So she wants to play a move like C3 and then have the D4 pawn secured, and then she can move her knight. The problem is C3 does open up the second rank.
Yep.
So the black rook will end up on that square.
On
So
B2.
that's what we're worried about.
Rook
If you,
B2.
You push this here, this rook comes down, and then
B2.
there's action all along this rank.
Yep.
So there is certain counterplay for black in this position. Black also has many moves, so this is problematic because knight C4 is a move as well.
Yep.
There's just sharp things. So first bishop E6, then with the idea of knight C4. This is a great game, ladies and gentlemen, a great, great game. And if we go to Awonder Liang's game, we also see a great, great fire-breathing barn burner as look at what is happening. G5, and she did play knight to C4. Look at this one. The pawn is on F4, breaking through, crashing through on that G5
my
pawn.
F4 pawn is there. Yep.
All day long.
Yep.
And we just got this result that finally you guys decided to have some peace in that match after two battling results. How come you guys ended up drawing?
Well, I was down the exchange, but I had the initiative, so I was checking her constantly until she had to draw.
Oh, so it was a perpetual. So you understand that if you're down material, a good idea is to try for a perpetual, right?
Yeah.
Well, keep doing a good job, Rihanna.
And this game, Lonte Walker, Nicholas Lynn, that game is all over but the tiers. Because right now, Lonte is got an extra rook and an extra exchange and an extra pawn. That one is blood, sweat, and crying.
So he survived.
So he did survive the light square weaknesses.
So I think survive is not the right word. He's thriving, and white is going to easily win this position. There is no chance at all for black in this position. We don't even have to look at this game. This one is simply over and done. But let's go to Shreyas Smith and Joshua Christie, who seem to be moving quickly in their game. Shreyas Smith and Joshua Christie. And am I seeing right?
No, that's
Joshua's
14 seconds?
14 seconds left to play the rest of the game, and this one is crazy. White is attacking, man. I think white, just look at that, F5 is on the board, and Shreyas Smith is not playing around as he tries to attack, but there's some defensive possibilities after takes, and now...
Because if 97, there's a possibility of
F6.
F6.
Bishop D7 with a
by the way,
wicked pin.
I did remind you that Joshua is known for these kind of games where it looks like he's under an attack. He finds these weird defensive moves, and all of a sudden, he's up material and winning.
Well, but at the moment, you have to also say that there is rook to the F file, which he has done, and the sacrifice did indeed happen. Rook takes, and is he going to just keep taking until, I don't know if this is sound. Take, and then his plan, I think he's made a miscalculation. He's going to keep doing it, take, and I think he plans to move his knight to pin.
He's going to take back with the bishop.
Oh,
he must have miscalculated.
At the end, I think there's oh no, queen g3 runs into knight f5. He's going to move his knight back. That's his key, right? Knight back, there it is. And now the point is, if knight g3, he takes and he has a queen g6 at the end.
Yep.
Very sharp.
Very sharp
idea.
tactical, yeah.
And in queen g3 now, he has knight takes rook guarding, and he has won a pawn. There is no easy way that I can find to get out of this position, except maybe, no, knight g7 doesn't, knight g7? That's worth a double look.
Yep.
Because
if we could analyze that one, let's take a look. I mean,
because he'll probably keep the exchange after.
No, but it's only a pawn in the end, and he's played knight f6 instead. Knight f6.
Check.
That's another way to save that. Well, that's just complicating the position, because you could now. Oh, right, because now you have to take it. You have to take it because he was going to take your bishop.
Yep.
So you have to take his piece off.
Right.
And with that capture, he's able to play check and maintain his exchange. And now he is ahead. He has refuted the variation with the move knight f6.
Yep.
And now white is going to move. Ooh, white can play maybe even rook h5 and keep the attack going. And he's done so.
Rook h5.
Forcing the move knight back to g8. He's going to have to defend with knight g8. There's nothing else to do, but the knight's going to be terrible back there. White's up an exchange. And is he going to have enough winning chances as this position is complicated? No, it's not. Queen takes on e4 with check, and white is running down the board now. Beautiful refutation by Shreyas Smith.
Yeah, the national champion is in good nick. He revels in these types of positions. He actually has a personal war against Joshua Christie. I remember their game in the national championships. It was a very blood-curdling affair, which was ended up drawn in the end.
Right now, he's going to have to do something for the Raging Rooks, because it looks like Ashanti Blackwood has won that game against Chanel Gardner. That has ended in a victory for the Dark Knights. So now they've closed the gap again, 13.5 to 12.5, only 1 point behind. But this one looks like a victory for the Raging Rooks if the moves are found. He's got so much of a lead on the clock as well. So he just needs to figure out how to trade queens. You see that move? That last one said trade queens. He said, no, I don't want to trade queen. Wait a minute, did he just blunder? He
Oh,
just
blundered
blundered a
his
check.
rook.
He completely blundered his rook. Oh,
Told you about this
no.
Joshua Christie guy. Told
Oh
you.
man, he made one quiet move and it's
He
a
can find
straight
tactics in
blunder
seconds.
of his rook.
He missed the check.
He missed the
check,
only
yeah.
check in the position. He missed it. He could have easily stopped it. He missed it, and now he's going to lose his rook, and that's going to cost him the game. Rook G5 does not help. He's just now seeing he's going to trade queens and be down a piece, which is probably his best chance, but it's lost. Wow, what a turnaround in one move. Just one nasty move.
And
man.
you know, Maurice, I think Shreyas made a cardinal mistake, which many of us do. Once we are way ahead on time, we try to clock the opponent when he never had to move.
His last move was just a mistake.
Yeah.
His last move, look at this. Now the game has gotten much harder to win. Can Black pull off a victory here? Well, I like Black though. Black's F-pawn looks very strong. So that looks like a big chance. And the Dark Knights are on a roll. Let me tell you. The Dark Knights are on a roll, as on board 6, Lonte Walker did close out that game as we expected against Nicholas Lin. And now the score is tied.
Yeah.
The score is tied.
Yeah. But I do see another couple players here.
But this is setting up the final round very beautifully,
yes,
Maurice.
And the Dark Knights are on a roll. This one should be a victory also for the Dark Knights, which basically puts them up a point. So let's get to the GM games to see what's going on there. As a matter of fact, it looks as though Akshat Chandra and Awonder Liang are blitzing out to yet another draw in their game. Black is up, but it looks like Black, that game is going to end in a draw. I can't see how that game would possibly be won. The interesting game is the one with Qiyu Zhou and Akshita Gorti. And we should look at that game for sure.
Was that a dark square bishop that Shreyas had?
Yeah, Shreyas has a dark square bishop. Shreyas is trying to make life difficult, but it should not be that hard. The knight just needs to get onto the right square. Nice stop right there. But the game that I think is the big game now is the result between Qiyu Zhou and Akshita Gorti. This one here is sharp, ladies and gentlemen. This one is wild, and we're seeing lots of moves getting played on the screen. At the moment, it's favoring White, as White is up a full bishop. So the Dark Knights, well, no, wait a minute, am I wrong? No, sorry.
Just a bunch of pawns.
It's black, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just one pawn. Okay, so just getting the count right here. But Black has tremendous play, and Black really needs to do something here, but she's down a full pawn in this position. And wait, she just took a pawn back, so now the material is even. The material is completely even. Black has the pass A pawn. White has no serious attack. Black is trying to stop White from doing anything, and now she's pinned the bishop, and the king is under pressure. What is going on here?
Both in time pressure, so the moves are coming quickly.
Anything could happen. Do we have another result?
Yes, we have another result. The Raging Rooks, Akeem Brown.
Surging ahead is Akeem Brown, making the case as the Raging Rooks now go back ahead, 14.5 to 13.5 as the score keeps going back and forth. All right, so can the Raging Rooks keep this score? 14.5, 3.5, we have a result.
And it looks like we have another result here again. Is everything up? Kishan, your game against Jamoy seems to be going back and forth. What was the latest result?
Right now I won.
Wow, so you've won the last game. How was this one, Jamoy?
It was okay, but I made a blunder and so I ended up losing the game.
Ah, jeez, you know, we never lose unless a blunder comes around. All right, keep up the good fight, guys.
Something happened in the game with Akshita Gorti. They just stopped and shook hands, but I couldn't figure out exactly what happened in the game.
And Gorti doesn't look too happy right now, you know.
I don't understand what happened in the game, though. After Bishop E2, there might have been a draw offer there because there was maybe no, oh wait, maybe she resigned after Bishop to C4 hit her?
Yeah, it looks like
E6, White won. By the way, because of those victories, it was 15.5 to 13.5 for the Raging Rooks, but now with the win by Zhou, That move, the first victory in that matchup, by the way.
Yep.
Now it's 15.5, 14.5, only a point differential in that position. So the score is 15.5, 14.5 as we speak, with other results coming in as Awonder Liang and Akshat Chandra have drawn their game. So now it's 16 to 15 is the score. 16 to 15. That's 31. So there should be two more games
left. Yeah.
From my count. And the games remaining, Adani, Clarke, and Angelous, McDonald. Adani just won with a checkmate from what I've seen. So Adani was on which team? The Raging Rooks or the Dark Knights?
Adani was on the Dark Knights.
Dark Knights.
The Dark Knights. So the Dark Knights have tied it up. I think the score is 16-16 from my count. Should be 16-16. Very close, going into the last round. And now we just need one more result. And who is this playing? Oh, it's
Shreyas and Christie.
Christie game.
Yeah. Still the same game, trying to figure out how to win. This game will decide if there's a leader or not.
Yep.
Because the score should be 16-16, but Black just took the piece, and Black has won. So the Dark Knights have taken the lead, or is it have kept the lead? What were they? They were.
Well,
they were behind.
Yeah.
Did they really dominate that much?
Well, they led into the second round.
The first round. The first round. They were ahead 6-5.
Yeah.
Then the Raging Rooks bounced back.
Won 7-4.
And won 7-4, so they were +2. And now it seems, we're gonna make it official, it seems like the Dark Knights have flipped it back to the point lead they had before. I think they won 7-4 in that round themselves.
We're gonna get what seems to be the final result for this round.
Official result. I think the Dark Knights have retaken the lead.
Wow.
And maybe up upon, are we right?
We are.
This game.
Yes.
Yes, we just saw that a while ago. So yes.
Wait,
Joshua just beat Shreyas.
Joshua won from Dark Knights.
Joshua won his game from the Dark Knights.
Yes.
So why did you give a point to the Raging Rooks? Isn't Joshua part of the Dark Knights?
The Dark Knights, sorry.
Yeah, so we have it right. The Dark Knights are ahead 17-16 after going a smashing, returning the favor.
Yep.
Returning the favor with a 7-4 blasting result. And this game, Shreyas is gonna kick himself.
He's gonna have nightmares.
He better be able to pull himself up for the last round, because that was disastrous, dropping that rook after playing that beautiful counter refutation with knight f6, and then just drop your rook in one move.
He snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. Very painful loss for Shreyas Smith. In fact, he was lamenting losing on time in such a promising position. You know, at least for a draw.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, this is the upcoming round, the money round. It is 17-16, as close as we want it. Will the Raging Rooks be able to come back as they did in round 2 and turn the tables? Will we have a victor? Well, we will have a victor. Do we have a tie break? We're going to have a tie break if they tie. There must be a rule that says there's a tie break if they tie. Maybe some blitz chess. But certainly 17-16 is a great score, and the round 4 is coming up. We will see you in just a couple of minutes.